Dear students, welcome you all in Rishikul online classes. Students, in this module, we will learn about the First World War. Students, the first half of the 20th century experienced events that changed the history of the whole world. Two world wars were fought in this time, causing great destruction and loss of human life and materials. In this module, you will learn about the First World War, how it started, how it was fought, and how it ended. So, the First World War, it is also called the Great War. This war lasted from 28 July 1914 to 11 November 1918. The war involved many countries across the world. The world became divided into two blocks, the Allied powers and the Central powers. Now, what are the causes of the war? Two, two decades preceding the war, countries were competing to acquire and develop weapons. Countries were forming political and military alliances to protect themselves. This created an atmosphere of suspicion and mistrust amongst the countries and made the political situation very tense in Europe. The main cause of the First World War was the death of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He was assassinated by a Serbian. Austria declared war on Serbia and that made their respective alliance join the war. Now, how was the war fought? Battles were fought in many countries. In Europe, the battles were fought on the France-Belgium side along and the Western Front and on the Eastern Front in the Russian side. The war was fought mostly from trenches, which were tunnels dug in the ground where the soldiers would hide and fire them. Machine guns and heavy artillery were used extensively. Tanks and poisonous gas were used for the first time. German submarines called U-boats were used to drown many ships of the Allied powers. There was a great role of India also. India fought the war for the Allied powers in the hope that the British will eventually give India independence or self-governance. Indian soldiers participated in the battles in Europe, Africa, and West Asia. When did the war end? The First World War ended in November 1918. The Allied powers were victorious. Both the blocs signed an armistice to end the war. Now, the interwar years. Peace conference held in Paris. Treaty of Versailles signed between the Allied powers and Germany. Germany was blamed for the war and was severely punished. The treaty imposed heavy fines on Germany. Some of the Germany territory was taken by the Allied powers and Germany was not allowed to increase its military forces. The destruction caused by the war shook the whole world, and to prevent such a war in future and maintain peace in the world, the League of Nations was formed. Post war years were very, very difficult for the people. There was a decline in trade and many factories. Banks closed down. Millions of people lost their jobs. This is called the Great Depression and was most severe in 1929, and it affected Western Europe and America. And the interwar years saw the rise of two dictators, Bantino Mussolini in Italy and Hitler in Germany, and they pushed the world into Second World War. And the League of Nations also failed to prevent war in Europe. Students, in this module, you learnt about the First World War was fought between the Allied powers and the Central powers. The Allied powers emerged victorious. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1919. Thank you.